Hey everybody, Unstable Gamer here, and welcome back to another Disney Sorcerer's Arena video. This is mailbag video number 2. I want to thank everybody for your support on the first one and submitting new questions for number 2. We got a ton of stuff to discuss, including farming, gearing, new game modes, things like that. So we have a lot to dive into. But first, before we do, if you're just now finding this channel and you want to stay up to date with this and other games, consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out. All right, and welcome back. And first, before we get into this, just again, I want to thank everybody for their questions. It really helps all of us kind of learn a little bit more about the game and really cover what you guys want to see and what you guys want to know about the game. So thank you for that. As I mentioned, I do take them from the comment section of each one of these videos, so definitely leave your questions below. I also will take them in my Discord. I do have a mailbag channel now specifically for Disney Sorcerer's Arena, so feel free to go there, and the links and everything will be in the description below. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into this one. I left this one on here because this is kind of a long one, and really this one deserves its own video. So we're going to kind of high level answer this one right here. So it's about the best strategy for farming spells that are farmable, and which spells do you know that are good? So I'm going to switch over really quick to my farming guide here. I have a tab down below that has the spell tier list. This is what I have set for June. So just kind of to walk through this, the best spells in the game aren't farmable anywhere, so except for when the event comes around. So these are the ones that you're going to want to watch for: Wild Imagination, Bucket of Soldiers, Golden Hammer, the Claw. Splash Mountain is the best farmable one in my opinion right now, and that is in Tower 4, I believe. You do have Blue Fairy Magic down here that's farmable in Tower 5, but that is really dropped on the tier list here. And so you can farm out of the spell exchange. Once you unlock each tower, once you complete each tower, the spell for that tower will be farmable in the exchange. So take a look at that. You can also get them out the spell packs. I don't really recommend the spell packs because the RNG it's just not all that great. And then you get Trigger and the Infinity Sided Dice out of Club Dungeon, so make sure you go through that to get those. But again, when you take a look at the best spells in the game and what's going to help you later on, especially once you get towards the higher levels of Arena and Tournament, right here, Wild Imagination, Bucket of Soldiers, Golden Hammer, the Claw. One thing that I am seeing more and more of is Conjuring Cauldron as well. Peter's Shadow is used pretty well with the Frozen team. There's a nice synergy there. So that one is farmable, I believe, in Tower 3 once you complete that. So the best way... Spells in the game are kind of an added bonus whenever you go into a battle. They have toned a lot of them down. They really don't want them to be the crux of the battle and what really turns the tide of battle, but sometimes they still can, especially with Wild Imagination, continuous damage, heal blocks, things like that. The hammer bringing people back from the dead or healing and adding speed. Great abilities, great spells right there. So you really want to kind of keep your eye on those top ones. And right now, I don't even spend a lot in the spell exchange right now. I really think a rework or some way to better farm some of these spells, I think really needs to happen because they are pretty difficult to get. You always have to wait for the event to come around for the best ones. And I don't know that I necessarily disagree with the best spells in the game being available in events, but just something to keep in mind there. So I know that's kind of a roundabout way to answer that question because there really isn't any real best way, but take a look at those spell tier lists. And again, this really does deserve a video of its own, so this is a great idea for that. So I will do that. Another question. So I have Jack, Ariel, and Hook unlocked. I'm reasonably close to Tinkerbell and Davy Jones. Any thoughts would be appreciated here. Level and Star would... so don't want to overinvest in oceanic characters. So this one right here, I would suggest... I think that the next Sorcerer Stone 3, where we're going to get, what is it, the Speed Stone, Defense Stone, I think should be in that one when it comes out. I think they're going to use Oceanic characters. So I would slow farm Oceanic right now. I wouldn't ignore them completely. There are only 5 Oceanic right now, and it is Jack, Ariel, Hook, Tinkerbell, and Davy Jones. Now, Davy Jones is only available out of Club Conquest. Jack is out of Club Dungeon Exchange, or the Club Exchange, and I believe he comes out of Conquest as well. I think someone made that point as well. So as far as these characters go, my recommendation is just kind of slow farm them, get them to where you need to be. Jack and Ariel, Jack for sure, take him up to a 7-star. You want that guy. You want him up to 7-star. You want to max that guy out. He is fantastic in the game right now. Ariel is decent in PvE. I've got her maxed out as well. I wouldn't rush to get her gear tier up there, but definitely work on those two out of all of them. If you do have Davy Jones, he is good as well. But I would definitely put Jack above him. Tinkerbell, well, if oceanic characters are needed for that next Sorcerer Stone, then we found a place for Tinkerbell. So I would slow farm her. I'd slowly get her and hook up. But basically what you're going to want to do is, if it's true that the next Sorcerer Stone trial is going to be oceanic and we only have the 5 right now, if you want to max out that trial, then you're going to have to get everybody up to 7-star gear tier 7 to get the most out of that trial. Now there are 2 other ones that are coming, and I think these other 2 are going to be much better than Tinkerbell or Hook, unless there's a rework coming with them, and that's going to be Maui and Stitch. Really looking forward to them coming to the game. So I'm sure everyone's opinions will change once those characters come to the game. But right now there are only 5, and you need 5 if it's true that the Sorcerer's Stone Trial number 3 is going to use oceanic characters. It seems like it's going to fit. It just follows a pattern, but we'll see when it comes out. All right, and the next one here. I tried asking this question on Reddit, but was turned down. But I'm not sure if I can believe the answer I got, which is that every maxed out level 67-star character is going to have the same stats as anyone else. Now, for this one here, I can say from experience, I don't believe that to be true. I don't have a gear tier 7-star character right now, or multiples of them to compare that to right now. If you do, if anyone who's watching this video does, definitely leave a comment in the comment section below on this. But I believe this is not true, and that's just going off of experience I have from other games and games of this type. Every maxed out character is not going to have the exact same stats. All right, next. Lou Mega here. Let's see. Do you think Kristoff is a better tank than Mordu? I think Kristoff is inches above Mordu. I think they're very comparable. They're very good tanks. They have great utility in the game. But in my opinion, I am seeing a lot more of Kristoff being used, and I'm using Kristoff a lot more than I am Mordu now. So my opinion, yeah, I think Kristoff is a better tank. Let's see. Do you think that any of the Toy Story characters need a rework except Zurg? I do. I think most of the Toy Story characters, I think, need a rework. They are probably, and I'm working on something for this too, but if you take a look at the teams that are being created, I would say that they are at the bottom of the list when it comes to them. Both the original Toy Story characters that came out, as well as the Toy Story villains. I'd actually put the Toy Story villains characters that came out above the other, like Jessie and Woody and Buzz, when you take a look at them as a team and the synergy and everything that goes into play there. They did a little bit of a rework on those. They did some stuff with them. I just don't think it was enough to really make them a great team. I think they're okay, and they do well in the event that they're needed in. And that's pretty much it. And yes, Muppets are Disney. I asked that was asked in the last video. I had a couple people DM me and share some comments that Disney does own Muppets. I didn't know that. So very cool. It'd be interesting to see if Muppets ever come to this game. All right, and let's see. Next one. What characters would you like added to the Monster Inc. team? You know what? I really want to see what Mike Wazowski, right? That's his last name. Mike Wazowski coming to the game. I think the girl, I can't remember her name right now, but I think she would be great coming in, and you give her an outfit, and the outfit would be the one that she wore in the movie. I think that would be really cool. Yeah, I'd say those 2 characters would be cool coming into the game, and there's a whole slew of Monster Inc. characters. Next. Will they ever add a practice mode to try out characters? So I saw this. Now, this was from 2 weeks ago when the video was. This is the second one of this series. And I had an answer for this, and I was really gonna dig in and say it'd be really cool to do that. But they just released one kind of a practice mode where you can challenge your friends or your club mates defensive teams in a tournament. So you can actually play around with that a little bit. Got to coordinate a little bit, but you can have your friend, club mates, or whoever change their defensive teams up, and you can battle different defensive teams depending on the characters that they have unlocked, right? So that's kind of a practice mode. The challenge there, though, and the thing to be careful of is if you change your defensive team in tournament while someone is battling them, then it's going to kind of leave you vulnerable if you don't have your best defensive team in there when it comes to tournament and getting knocked down that ladder. I would like it in live PvP, though. This isn't live PvP. This is battling their defensive teams. So maybe later on down the road, I think that right there would answer this one right here. If we were able to battle our friends in live PvP, and then we can try up so many different team compositions, especially if you have a friend who's got a maxed out roster and you want to kind of see the different teams that you're going to come up against and things like that. So I think that'd be cool. I'm sure they have it on a list somewhere. All right, next. Let's see. Does where you place your characters matter? Absolutely, 100%. Placement matters. I actually have a video out on it. I won't go in depth on here, but if you want to take a look at it, I will link it up right over there. But placement does matter with flanking damage and AoE damage and adjacent damage, all character damage, all different types of damage in the game. The way that you set up your team to battle another team absolutely 100% matters, and it could mean the battle. It could either win or lose you that battle. So definitely 100% check that video out. I think it'll be helpful. And if it is, let me know. All right, next. All right, so I kept the whole conversation in this one because Jonathan here, I'm guessing Stitch will arrive on August 28th. Yes, it's 626. So 626. So August 26th came and we were teased a little bit. We got an emote or a talisman, right? It would have been really cool if they would have released Stitch on 626. I think that would have been awesome. But 626 is come and gone, and all we got was a talisman or emote. An emote. It's a cool emote. I think it's a cool emote. So we'll see. We'll see what the plans are for Stitch, because I know so many people are clamoring for Stitch, and I think that'd be really cool. All right, and for the last one, this one comes out of Discord. What is the priority when it comes to leveling star levels and gear? In your videos, you mentioned getting things to star level 5 and then to 7. What would you suggest for the best route to leveling up both gear and star level? So what I do is I will go in and I will farm all my characters that I'm going to farm for the day. I'll max out their nodes. If I'm going to refresh any nodes, which is very few and far between, then I'll refresh and then I'll farm them. And then any energy I have left throughout the day, and you get a lot. You can get energy from your club mates. There's a bunch of free energy that you can get by claiming that. You can also watch videos to get your energy. You can also watch video to increase your energy regeneration for a short period of time. So there's so many different ways to get energy in the game. There's plenty. So I will max out my nodes. Typically, I'm farming, I would say I'm probably farming around around four different characters at any one time. I'll max all their nodes out, and then I'll move on to the next. When I farm a character, I do farm them all the way up. The ones that I'm focused on, I do farm them up all the way up to 7-star. But when it comes to gear tier, I will take everybody up to gear tier 5. That's typically what I suggest. But if you don't have enough gear, because I know farming gear in this game is very, very grindy. if you can't get them to 5, at least get them up to 4. And then when you get your main characters that you're going to be using, because you got a bunch of different teams that you're going to be using for the different events and things like that, right? Once you get all your characters or the characters you really want to get up to 4, then you work on your main characters to get them up to gear tier 5 and gear tier 6. I am not going to gear tier 7. It requires way too much, and for focusing on just one character to get up to gear tier 7 right now is going to leave a lot of my other characters behind. So my goal right now for my main characters that I am farming, I am getting them all the way up to gear tier 6, everybody else up to gear tier 5, and then I will pick and choose who I take up to gear tier 7, which is going to allow us to max out all the different events and challenges and trials and everything that we have. So when I kind of take a look at it, That's what I got. So I'll get all my nodes farmed for the day, and then any leftover energy is going towards gearing, get everybody up to gear tier 5, and then my mains up to gear tier 6. So that's what I'm doing for that. Hopefully that helps with that question. All right, and that is it. That's the questions for today. Hopefully the video didn't go too long for you. But if your question wasn't answered, or if you want to ask a question, definitely leave it in the comment section below. Head on over to my Discord and put the questions there in the mailbag in the Disney Sorcerers Arena channel. All the links will be in the description below. All right, there you go, everybody. That's what I had for you today. And as always, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch the video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Take care, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time.